and worshiping. That's what we were doing. We were singing songs, and someone was listening. Maybe even angels were joining in. It made me, coming to your school this morning, remind me of when I was your age. One of the greatest things that we ever did was summer holiday. And during those summer holidays, we always went to a place called Adventureland. Maybe for you it's food and something, I forget the names in Delhi. But Adventureland had all these roller coasters and rides and fun, and one of my favorites was bumper cars. Do you know what bumper cars are? It's just like Delhi roads. It seems that in bumper cars, you get to do what you want to do. You drive and you're going to hit somebody, but I never like to hit anybody, and nobody in Delhi likes to hit anybody. But you come really close, and you zigzag, and you go through life, and you make your own rules. That's how bumper car works. And if you crash into somebody, you bounce off, and you keep going. Oh, if life were like that. You just bump and go, but life is not like that. It's not like that. We sang songs that I'm trading my sorrows, I'm laying them down, I'm giving them away. There's been problems in our lives. There's been problems on planet Earth. You read newspapers, you listen to your mummies and daddies talk. Nobody's happy. Somebody did something to someone, and they talk about it, and it chain reaction. What are we is there any better way to live? Is there really any way we are supposed to do this right? Movies, Hollywood, Bollywood, they all have solutions for us. They're usually pretty simple. One of my favorite movies, there was a choice between two pills, a white one and a red one. You take one of those and you'll see reality. Another, maybe you've seen this movie, he's an average kind of guy, and then he puts on a mask and he becomes somebody different. And he has these superpowers. Another one, he puts on a coat. When he puts this coat on, whoosh, and he becomes a different person. That's not real. None of those things are real. How do you and I change? I was thinking, when you're in your bumper car, there are rules and regulations to follow. The problem is I don't follow them. I make mistakes. I do bad things. And then I remember those bad things. And there's this voice inside my head that tells me, reminds me, you did something wrong. Shame on you. And I try to get rid of this sound. And that's called our conscience. Our conscience is that voice that all of you have that tells you this is good and this is not good. You should go left, but I want to go right. You have all these dialogues in your head. That's the problem. Between the head and the heart is really where the problems of planet Earth are. In every individual. So I was so pleased to read this morning, how much more will the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without blemish to God, cleanse your conscience from dead works to serve the living God. And that sets people free. There is so much in life where we make mistakes, and he talks about cleansing your conscience. That is what I want. I want a clean conscience before my mother, father, brothers, teachers, sirs, ma'ams, and the living God. I cannot do it myself. Many people try. They find a mask. They put on a new suit. They drive a little more carefully. They say, I won't do that again. That is not the solution. You and I have a conscience that needs cleaning. And there's one way, and we can have it clean. It says it's what Jesus did. The blood of Christ, his life sacrificed for you. You just sang songs about that. He gave his life that we might live. Conscience. So there's no pill, but there is this revelation. That's the solution. How do you get this understanding? He reveals it through his word. And so we just sang about a newborn baby. Everybody knows what a baby is. Everybody knows what food is. Everybody knows what water is and milk is. And so God, the living God, uses those pictures to help you and me understand what he wants you and me to do. He says we got 5 problems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big words. He says, therefore, putting aside malice, guile, hypocrisy, envy, and slander. Putting them aside. In my simple English, malice is when you want to hurt somebody. You intentionally look at your neighbor and say, I want to hurt him or her. Guile is being deceptive, deceiving somebody, intentionally saying yes when it's no. Hypocrisy is when you act one way, but you know it's not true. You say yes, 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 but it's really no, no, no. He says, put those aside. Hurting other people, manipulating, pretending you're not somebody. Envy and slander. Envy is when you want what somebody else has. It leads to theft, stealing. Slander is when you use your tongue to tear down somebody else. These are the things that are quite natural. They come easily to you and me. We don't have to learn how to do those things. It says, put those aside. And like newborn babies, like infants, drink. Long for the pure milk of the word, that by it you may grow in respect to salvation. You've got to drink the milk. You've got to, and it's a slow process. Little babies, how often do they need milk? Mothers, these teachers can tell you. 3 hours, 2 hours. Intezarkado. Just wait, baby, wait. They cry, they scream, they cry. Everybody in the house can hear them. They need it when they need it. You and I must learn to drink the revelation of the living God. And then the other is, we come to him as to a living stone, rejected by men, but choice in the eyes of God. It comes down to choice, all this world we live in. There's this beautiful stone, very valuable. People see it in 2 ways. Some say yes, And some say, no. Simple. Yes, Lord, yes, Lord, yes, yes, Lord. You just sang it. Did you believe it? Your life will come down to learning to say yes to the revelation that God has said, that He has said, you are unique. You are a chosen vessel. You are special in my eyes. And you must learn to say yes. My conscience is dirty. Cleanse it, please. And He will. Because He wants you to be built into His house. Built means growing, growing, growing. As a newborn babe, as a one brick in a house. You're not finished. You're growing. You're young. You're getting older. Last thought. I was in Japan for 4 years. I was in Mount Carmel for a little bit before that. I enjoyed the assemblies. Then the Lord took me to Osaka, Japan. They don't speak a lot of English in Osaka, Japan. So it was a new experience for me. My Japanese was skoshidake, very little. So I was always happy to meet English speakers. I came back to India 4 years later. I went to a fellowship, and a little girl had grown up. In 4 years, they do that, you know. They keep eating, they keep drinking, they keep getting revelation. This little girl had become a teenager in our church. And she sang the song you just sang this morning. I think it was the second song you sang. I'd been in a Japanese environment. I'd come back to India. I heard her singing this song in English. I could remember her as a small child. Now she was grown. And I said, wow, this is true. Wow, He is alive. He changes your lives. I was really touched that day. You must learn to hear God. You must learn to drink, long for the pure milk of the Word. The girls in the hostel, we've been enjoying getting to know them better, but we have understood that blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. And I believe it, and I believe it's for you today. So be blessed. No pills, no mask, no bumper cars, no complete abandonment. That is not how you clean yourself up. It's Jesus. He will do that for you. Thank you.